quiet, the boy pleaded. Tell it to the Marines, the old man snarled. The man threw open the basement door. A rush of mildewed air rose up from the darkness, like the hideous breath of some subterranean thing. He flicked on the light, and the cascade of descending stairs came into view. Among their number was the treacherous one midway down, the one that bent like a bow at the slightest weight. Are you going to go down on your own, or do I have to make you? The boy looked up at his father. The anger that had fueled him thus far was fading, seemingly sapped by the trip from the boy's bedroom. Instead, his father looked pained. If he didn't know better, he might think the old man was about to cry. But his father had said he was tired. Dead tired. And perhaps it was as simple as that. I'll go, the boy whispered, and he took the first tentative step down. The change in temperature was immediate. It was like diving into a cold pool. He took another step down, and another. He paused on the third step and looked back at his father. The bare bulb above paled the man's countenance. The gray circles under his eyes made him look like he'd been bludgeoned. Git, the old man snarled, and the boy went. When he reached the sagging step, he stopped, took a breath, and leaped over it. His heel hit the lip of the next step, but the wood was damp, and the boy came down hard on his butt. Get some sleep, and no more dreams. As if he could help it. His father closed the door, and the lock clicked. It would not open again until morning. The boy descended the final few stairs and stepped onto the floor. Ice-cold cement sucked heat from his soles. He squinted, trying to adjust to the dark. The usefulness of the light bulb ended a few feet into the basement, and there was no more source of light until he reached the gears in his head ground to a halt, stopping short of allowing the dreaded name to be uttered. He started picking out objects around him. The solemn metal face of the furnace, a stack of water softener salt bags, the frame of an old bicycle. Straight ahead lay a distance of 20 or so feet before he'd come to a door. 3/4 of that stretch was in pitch black. To get to the door, to get to the room, he had to dash through the darkness until his hand found the doorknob. Then he would throw the door open, reach to his right, flip the wall switch, and presto, an island of light in an ocean of black. He girded himself for the sprint. 1, 2... He hesitated. But why? He'd already made this run 2 times this week. Both Monday and Thursday he'd awakened screaming, bringing down the old man's wrath and sending him here, to the penalty box, to time out, to the night. 3! The boy startled at the sound of his own voice, and he lurched into motion. He hurtled into the darkness, his feet slapping the floor, echoing off the walls in hollow applause. He bumped into something and spun, temporarily throwing himself and his inner compass off balance. He skidded across the floor and came to a stop. Heart pounding in his chest, he quickly located the lit stairs off to his left. He made a rapid calculation and turned to face the invisible pathway to the room. He bolted, coming to a halt only when he slammed head-on into the door. His hand floundered before finding the knob. He launched into his practiced routine, open door, flip switch, step inside. In seconds, the boy slipped into the room and slammed the door shut. A pink light overhead bathed him in imaginary warmth. He had made it. He stepped back and sank into the waiting beanbag chair facing the door. The small room with its mint-green walls and roll-away bed felt almost welcoming, an odd feeling for a place that was meant as a punishment. The boy pulled a quilt from the bed and wrapped it around him tight. For the first time in his life, he felt safe here in this room, in the nightmare room. Because he hadn't bumped into something out there in the dark. He had bumped into someone.